Good morning. I am happy to be back. Hello. Hello. Welcome everyone back to the channel. Sorry I haven't been on the past week. Actually, I'm not sorry because I was on a little vacation. And as the stream says, wait, I don't know, is it in there? Is the title in there? Yeah, pretty much as long as I'm not on vacation, have service, and somewhere to stream, I will be streaming. But if I'm not online, that's because I'm normally busy. But anywhooser, we'll get into it as we normally do. I'm going to get some of my screens situated. Let's see, where did that go? Okay, let's do this. Watch list. Have that guy there. Let's go back up top. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like the market's going through a little bit of a bounce right now, but the market is still in negative territory, so we're not swinging along the markets yet. We're just seeing kind of an oversold bounce after some selling has been going on the past couple days. It's pretty much that. What should we add there? We could do market internals. That's not a bad. Where did it go? Did I delete that one? Might have. Well, then we will do this. We'll pretty much stream here for, I don't know, the foreseeable future, I guess, for the moment. But like I said, we are not swing long the market. We're not swing long or long any Magnificent Seven stocks as it relates to kind of, trading, if you will. Obviously, as a long-term investor, I own some of these things, but as it relates to what we do here on the stream, looking for market structure changes, market makers slipping structure of markets, we haven't done that. But if you look closely, the one that's you can see everything is bouncing right now, right? If you look at Nvidia, whether you look at Nvidia, Meta, Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, etc., etc. What, I have two Metas. I need a Netflix in there. Let's change this to Netflix. And I don't need the QQQ. Which one am I missing? Always missing one. Anyways, I'll figure it out later. So, that's pretty much that. I'm gonna bring up some other stuff here in just a second. Where is YouTube? Where are you going? Get over here. Why is it doing that? I don't understand. There you go. Alrighty. So, another thing you guys should do if you care is just pay attention to my channel on the post section. Going to try and get a little bit more active with it, but you can basically see 24 minutes ago I talked about adding long on SNDK, talked about adding long RKLB, adding long ARAI, adding long SLS, etc., etc. So far, every single thing that I added long on has worked enough to create a green trade of 1%, 2% on those positions, give or take. One's up 4% there. Just over the past 20-30 minutes, we did mention, handful of stocks that were entering uptrends that I was adding long on. Because I'm adding long doesn't mean you should add long. Again, Whenever I'm adding long on something, it's simply because I am just following the system of the stock market. It's not like I think that any one of these plays is going to be the greatest play on planet Earth. It's really just simply these stocks are either in an uptrend, trying to enter an uptrend at the algorithmic level that can start an uptrend. So I'm literally just putting on risk because they're possibly starting uptrends. So pretty much anytime I see any stock, large cap, small cap, mid cap, anything that I happen to be looking at that I think looks decent and that is possibly entering an uptrend or is at the algorithmic level to enter an uptrend, I will just start buying, right? And then I just kind of extrapolate that across multiple plays to diversify the risk, right? See, not every play is going to be good. Not every play is going to be bad. Some are going to work, some won't. We use the same exact strategy, same exact system across multiple different stocks, and we just basically reduce our risk via diversification of multiple plays across the same strategy, if you will. So that's how, over the past 10-15 minutes, I was just scanning through stocks, saw S&DK was decent, saw RKLB could be decent, saw ARA, blah, blah, blah. All these ones to me look relatively decent to add some plays on at that specific moment, right? So anyways, I know we're probably not going to have many people watching this stream here today. That's how it typically goes, but it's no big deal. Also, when it comes to Bitcoin has sold down into our price targets of 66,000, so that completes our sell target that we mentioned over the past couple days. If you want some context to the backtest of Bitcoin, we'll just go into the post here. You'll see from a couple days ago, I had mentioned Stock Market Network here, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, Bitcoin is targeting to here. So we can see the market of Bitcoin has dropped down to 67,000 to 66,000 or whatever that is there. Pretty straightforward. Again, pull this back, go back over to Bitcoin right there, 67,000, 66,000 some change, bing, bang, boom, hitting our price targets as per usual. So nonetheless, we have announced a new target for Bitcoin. The new long targets for Bitcoin are about 90,000 something to like 100,000. Are they still on my chart? Let's see. No, they're not, but that's okay. What are they? It's no more than 100,000. I'm just trying to be very specific. Again, I know no one's watching, so I'm just really talking to myself, but everything is documented on this channel, so that's good. Our targets right now for Bitcoin are on the long side, and this is longer term targets. Damn, I thought I had this all set up. I did, but apparently not good enough. Weird. Either way, it's about 100,000. So those are our new targets if anyone cares to listen. Those targets are based off of volume-weighted average prices, so those prices are going to change week by week as the price of the market changes, obviously. So there's that. Alrighty, we really don't need that. Where did it just go? I don't understand. Okay. Alrighty, well, in the meantime, I'm just going to kind of flip through some stuff here. Let's scroll down to this guy. ZIM, not where we want it to be. SLS long is working beautifully. Can't lie, love that one. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, SLS working. Again, entered long on SLS around the price of 360, 359 is how it looks. Yeah, about 360 there. That's also broken into an uptrend now. It's coming into its 4-hour trend here at 370. Needs to sustain 370 for a big boomer McSchmoomer. So hopefully in the next couple days we break out of 370 and then we'll pop that bad boy up. That'd be nice. All right, so that's good. RKLB, that has worked, but I think that's going to be coming back down for a back test. So either way, RKLB, that trade worked okay. Most likely going to pull that back to $68.10. Hopefully not, but if so, I mean, it just kind of is what it is. But we'll keep stops. Yeah, we'll keep the stops where we should, below algo trend. So if it wants to go back into a downtrend, that's fine. We'll give back some money, but we won't give it all back. All right. So yeah, stops for RKLB are below the 50 SMA algorithmic trend. That's about $67.99. Give it some give or take there. Yeah, let's look at CC. CC. Ooh, it could be. It could be. The stock CC could be starting an uptrend. I just don't know if I want to try to take some on that or not. No, I think I'm going to pass on that one. Not that it won't work. It's just not it for me. Walmart started a bearish trend today here at the price of $131. So that's in a short right now. So we won't be going long that guy. VXUS, that's bouncing back up. That's the international markets. That's where I got quite a bit of money, but that's also because just in general, the markets are going up. So obviously, Nvidia's in a negative trend right now. So we're not long Nvidia. Dow's negative. We're not long that. CVNA is negative. We're not long that. ASTS negative. Here's one that might work at some point, maybe. ICE, that's creeped up all the way to the price of $154, give or take, coming into $154.43. Might start an uptrend. Already had a rejection there, so you might want to watch ICE for over $154.50. That would be the only way that triggers an uptrend. The DTE, that's not where we want it. Microsoft, that's a downtrend. I'm not going to buy that one. AMZN. Wait a second. Oh, wait, no, that's SNDK. Yeah, that's right. We already took that one long earlier. We're done with that. Amazon. Amazon's the first of the Magnificent Seven to retrace back to its algorithmic level that could start an uptrend. So arguably, we'll be watching Amazon. Amazon's going to be one of the first that we're paying attention to for a long. It's not that. So, like, for example, right, if we, and I'm flipping through, I have 6 different screens I watch. So just because, again, you won't always see everything that I'm talking about. There's just no way I could teach and talk and show all these things. And it's just, you just got to have to listen and trust what I'm saying is legit. So yeah, Amazon, if we look at the Magnificent Seven here, I just enlarged the screen. Amazon's the first one to retrace to its algorithmic level that I pretty much consider as the uptrend start. So as the markets, right, if we look at QQQ, you can see QQQ's bouncing, right? So for example, right, we already know that the stock market's in a negative selling trend, so we're not long the markets right now as it relates to like short term. There's tons of ways to view the market, but the reality is it's just not in a buying program right now. We're in a bearish trend and we're doing oversold bounces right now. So either until the market's back in an uptrend, a lot of stocks may not be pushing long bias right now. So, all I'm trying to emphasize is if you look at the pattern of the NASDAQ, obviously it's bearish. It broke down its 50 SMA, right? And if you go look at, and you can see it's bouncing right now, and if you enlarge all of the Magnificent Seven, you can see pretty much every single one of them is bouncing, but every single one of them is still in a downtrend, right? So we're seeing markets bounce, we're seeing large cap Magnificent Seven players bounce, but that bounce has yet to turn into an uptrend. So that being said, the first stock that is, or the out of the ones we're looking at here, the Magnificent Seven, Amazon is the one that is closest, or Amazon is the only one out of the Magnificent Seven, or well, there's 9 stocks here. I watch more than that, but you get the point. That one's the one that's the closest to potentially starting an uptrend, because that one is already, as you can see, retraced back to its algorithm level. So the way that we would read this, right, if we zoom out a little bit more, is obviously Amazon broke down. It's been in a downtrend. It gapped down here on earnings. It retraced some, and it's still down. And now it's gotten back to the 50 SMA. If the market wants and whatever, that's where we start an uptrend. So if I was interested in being long, which I am, and I had to pick amongst all of these stocks, my focus would be on Amazon right now, because Amazon is the closest, or it's the one that is literally at the level that dictates uptrends and downtrends. So if one of these were going to start an uptrend, Amazon would be, not that it's most likely, it's just it's where my attention should be. Now, it could not go into an uptrend. It could stay in a downtrend. Another one of these could go into an uptrend. But the focal point, or the area of focus where algorithms and market makers that hedge positioning in the market, Amazon's there, right? So we'll see. But like I said, that's why I emphasize, regardless of where Amazon's at, the market's still negative, right? So Amazon could simply just be bouncing back to resistance and then just staying in a downtrend, right? So that's what I mean is the algorithm level is that it starts uptrends and it keeps downtrends, right, intact. So the same level you look to be long at is the same level you look to be short at. And so that's why it's somewhat tricky, but that's how the market, keeps itself and keeps traders, keeps it challenging, if you will, right, is making the best buy point the same as the best start sell point for where the trends kind of shift and market makers actually move things. So that being said, we will focus on Amazon for the remainder of the day, going into tomorrow and whatever. But for the moment, right, if we just look at where that SMA calculation's at, and I'm going to stop talking about Amazon real quick, but pretty much here you go. There's Amazon. We already know that it's retraced all the way where? To the 50 SMA. So that's why you're seeing kind of this move. So that's what I would say to everyone that's watching, which is a whole one of you, right? That's your move back to the SMA. That's why we're stopping there for the moment, because it's not in an uptrend. So what you basically just saw was a big counter trend bounce back to resistance, because it has yet to flip over. So it's not quite in an uptrend, a meaningful uptrend. Obviously, the price here is uptrending, right? But it's uptrending to a current trend resistance, right? So people who don't watch what we watch would say, oh, maybe this is uptrending. Yeah, this is uptrending back to resistance for the moment. So yeah, so Amazon, like I said, Magnificent Seven, that's still that's basically a top tick short trade right there off the SMA. So if you wanted to bet short, I'm not shorting it, but if you wanted to play short, you could have just shorted that top right there at the SMA calculation. You have a winning trade right there because it's not in an uptrend. So anyways, that being said, we're still focused on these things, but none of them are in uptrends that we're willing to trade into for the moment. Bitcoin, yeah, like we said, Bitcoin's price targets right now are about 100,000 to 90-something thousand and some change. So yes, I have announced new long targets. As you guys know, when Bitcoin was trading at the all-time highs, we announced, well, there's only one of you, but if someone comes back and watches this video, you get the point. But yeah, we announced the price target for Bitcoin being about like 60,000 to some 50,000 when it was trading at 126,000. So we've achieved that target. We are now announcing long targets. The long targets we're focused on now for Bitcoin are like 100,000 to... It's actually higher than that. It's like 100,000. No, not 90 something. It's like 90,000, like 110,000 or something like that. But anyways, but yeah, so we do have some new long targets for Bitcoin, but we're early, right? So like I said, I like to get the analysis out really, really early. I don't, I like to try to do some foresight stuff, more of like predictions that hopefully come true well before they happen. It's kind of how I like to try to do things. So yeah, we're looking at about 100,000 to 110,000 now. We're very early on that price target and that analysis. That even if I'm correct, which I expect to be, well, for one, that price target's going to get lower every single week that Bitcoin doesn't hit that target. So like I said, we're not looking for Bitcoin to get to those prices until sometime in 2027, maybe into 2028. So like I said, we're like a year, maybe a year and a half early on announcing these targets, but what better way to predict the future than like a year ahead of time, right? So that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to move the price of Bitcoin back towards like 100, maybe 110,000 over the case of the next 2 years. And we might have a lower to go on Bitcoin. I mean, I was always projecting we would come down to about pretty much where we're at, maybe a little lower, and then we're going to consolidate for a while, chop around, bounce a little bit. We're not going to have a huge bear market. We're not going to have a bull market. It's just going to be low hanging, chop, grind, whatever for maybe, in the next year or so. Anyways, so for the two of you watching, remember, we are projecting Bitcoin back to 100,000, maybe 110,000, but that price is going to change, and we're looking at that sometime in the next year, maybe a year and a half or so. Yeah, and then that's pretty much it. In the short term, I can show you why Bitcoin's doing what it's doing. I was gonna make a video about this last night, but then I was just like, I made the video a couple times over, and then I was just like, does anyone really care? Probably not. So I was like, whatever. I'm gonna do it maybe another day. But yeah, so ready? Bitcoin goes down. Hits the bottom that we told everyone to buy anyways. This bottom we'd recommend as a purchase point. Bitcoin bounced like 10-11% right after the entry that we suggested. So if anyone, listened, cool. If you didn't, it doesn't matter. We'll be here all day or another day or some other day. So yeah, so this is how we predicted, the last higher low and then the current higher low and blah, 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 right? So Bitcoin bounces, you take a VWAP, we anchor to the low, and pretty much that's going to be our pullback target in the short term, and then that's going to be our long entry point in the short term. Cool. All right, then we just basically repeat the process. We take a VWAP, we anchor to this low. Sometimes we'll anchor to the green candle, red candle. We kind of just, use both. So basically, this little area would become our next pullback target. So the way we would read this market over the past couple days, which is what we have, is that market bounce, anchor VWAP. That's your next pullback target and long entry point. So market pulls back, as said, then bounces, goes up. Cool, job well done. Then you repeat the exact same process, anchor VWAPs to low. Then that becomes your pullback target and potential higher low location. If it works, great, cool, job well done. All right, so this is the stop out, right? So if you think about how the market's been forming up over the past couple days, this is a concentration point because we have taken a low, bounced it, then we took another low, bounced it, then we pulled it back, took another low, started bouncing. If the longs don't hold this level, that's where our kind of next little shelf dive will happen. And at which point we're going to go down to this pricing. So anyways, just pretty much expect if this little higher low that I and a few others have attempted at over the past like day or so doesn't hold, then the market will sell off down into the price of 65,000. And that will be the liquidation event, right? We will liquidate all the longs from yesterday, today, through that point, and then we'll take them back down to 65,363 or so. But anyways, that's all the short-term stuff. So that's pretty much how you can predict, I would say like 75% of the time what Bitcoin's going to do before it does it, and so on and so forth. By the way, just as some evidence for you, we did post this here. So I'm going to start working on posting here more. As you can see, I posted 10 or 15 different trades I just took over the past 30 minutes, all of which worked to some degree. All of those plays ended up making some money. Now I'm just basically holding them with stops in place, hoping they continue to go, right? So, generally speaking, anything that I go long on, I always hope that it has the opportunity to make money on a day trade and then can hold for continuation into a swing trade. Like that's pretty much the objective with all of those. Over the past day or so, again, we will see like right here, a day ago, hey guys, Bitcoin is targeting here in the short term, right? So this was from a couple days ago. You can see, just like I said, right? Anchor VWAPs to the low. 75% of the time, it's probably going to work, right? So that's how I'm able just to come on the internet and go, Bitcoin's going to go here, right? And then half the time it goes there, maybe more than half. So yeah, that's the strategy. It's very simple. You just take a VWAP, anchor to low, and just know that when you track the volume of the market, the main objective is to screw over everybody that was previously trading in the market, right? So if we take a bounce it up, track the volume of it, we know where those people are at, we kind of know where their stop out's at, we know how to get them to panic, right? Then we pull the market back to that level, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So day ago, we basically said Bitcoin's going to go down to 67,000 and some change. All right, cool. Let's go over back to Bitcoin and let's look at how that all formed up. So here's your VWAP on the low. Oh, well, you know, there's your VWAP on the low. Oh, well, you know. So if you look at that, right, so that was a day ago. Bitcoin is targeting here in the short term. And we go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is there in the short term. Is it because I'm smart? Not really. Is it because I've just done this over and 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 seen it happen over and 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 over? So then I can just go to the internet and say it's probably going to happen, and then it happens. That's why, right? It's not that I'm that smart. It's just I've just seen it repeat so many times that until it stops working, I'll just go to the internet and say this is going to happen, right? So yeah, it works. There's that. So hope you guys like that. Yeah. So anyways, I think every one of you two is up to speed. In the meantime, I'm going to keep flipping through some stocks and see if there's anything to buy. Microsoft, well, we already know those aren't going to be doing anything. I already have those up. Amazon, nope. Cool. Let's look at this guy. No. No buy. Could have taken a little. Probably should have. Oh, come on, computer. Why you always gotta just not work? Love that. What is going on? I just don't even understand. So, that's sweet. Just everything's straight up froze. Does anything work? Nope, that's always good. Gotta love that. So, I guess we'll just close everything. I just don't get it. Gotta love when Thinkorswim's like, we're just not gonna do anything anymore. Oh, gotta love it. I gotta love it. Or is it because some weird, sometimes they have like those pop-up windows and like prevents you from doing stuff, but no, it just looks like Thinkorswim just totally shit the bed on us. Won't even respond. That's cool. So the only way I could really do anything is if I just basically shut off my entire computer. That's cool. So that basically means our stream just got cooked. Damn. We were doing so good. We were doing so good until the internet's like, you know what? Nah, you're done for. So I'm trying to log on to my phone because I would like to take a little bit of profit on SLS. I should have took profit as it came into 370 and some change, but what is my password? There we go. Come on. You gotta like a little bit of the propitos. Wait, is this the right account? No, that's not. That's account. There it is. Thank you. Nothing like a good old computer screwery taking place. I just don't get it sometimes. All right, took a little bit of profit there on the SLS, and now just holding the rest. All right, did my computer stop freezing? Let's see. Nope, it's straight cooked. It is. Oh, it's this thing. I see. I'm like, no wonder why. Like, this just doesn't seem right. Okay, we're back in business, folks. We're back in business. I think one of these days, YouTube will certainly be like, you know what? We're gonna hit the main stage of the stream. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep flipping through stocks. If I see something good and I buy it, I will just let you guys know. It's pretty much it. Gonna have to go through a couple different other scanners. So I've already run through most of this stuff and I haven't seen anything as of recent. remember, I'm always looking for something that could be starting a new uptrend, because then the risk is super duper limited, right? I'm usually not as interested in buying. Oh, I gotta put back in a stop on this one. I'm usually not as interested in buying things for continuation plays or things like that. I pretty much want them to be where I think an uptrend's starting, and that's pretty much it. That's weird. Something's not working. WBD, no. WB. Okay. Wait a second. What happened to my camera? Where is my camera at? Oh, there it is. That was weird. I just couldn't see it. Alright, we're gonna pull up a biggest gainers now. Detach, catch. Where did it go? Biggest gainers? Ooh, that's not bad. Well, either way. Alright, now flipping back through our biggest gainers list. Ooh, no, we didn't miss that. No, never mind. Yep, so now going through the biggest gainers. Now the likelihood that one of these is right at a specific buy point is going to be probably not, because again it's 11:47, we're into the lunch hour. And again, usually algorithmic programs are sent off early in the morning or into the open. So if anything right now, we'd be lucky to find something that's just now breaking out. If anything, we'd be more likely to find something that's doing a back test or a bounce after a sell-off. So that's obviously what I'm looking for. So far, I've just scanned through like another 20 stocks. Nothing is triggering what we're looking for. Actually, well, that one kind of already happened, but it did just start an uptrend. I could be willing. Yeah, why not? So I'm going to put a bid out on the stock ANGH at about... never mind, can't buy that stock. So I try to put a bid out on the stock ANGH around 240. It's already done its breakout and its day trade long up to 270. So that sort of long trade's already done. Now you need to look for like continuation. So as long as that's over 240, it's fine. If it goes under 240, it would be not as good, but you know, is what it is. So that one is a no-go for me because the broker thinks that it's probably too risky or something like that. Who knows? Yeah, no, not that one. NCLH. Wait a second. I looked at this. Oh, that's right. I thought about this one. Didn't pull the trigger. Did end up working. So we're a little late to that. We would just need it to continue now. Elevated risk, not worth it. Alrighty, let's see. And again, I know like you can't see everything I'm doing, but literally it's just me. It's just me flipping through stocks. It's very, you know, I could bring this down. I mean, like this is all it's gonna be. Ready? Like it's just me. Ready? This is how fast it is. No. Actually, maybe. Wing. All right. Kind of want to take a stab on Wing. We're gonna add long on some Wing here. It's kind of elevated. I'm not the biggest fan of that. So I'm going to start something there on Wing, just because, why not? So, little small starter. If it ends up pulling back, well, whatever, I'm just going to go post it. I don't need to tell every single detail of everything. I'm already very detailed. You guys get the point. All right, so let's go back here. Where did I get it? 242.95. It's not the greatest entry, but is what it is. 2.2495. Stops below algo trend at 237.32, give or take. Do as you please. Cool. So, yeah, we can only hope that, maybe Wing kind of continues for us here. They got earnings coming out. They do have earnings coming out in the after hours. So it's kind of one of those things where we're seeing the stock enter an uptrend today, potentially, leading into earnings. This could be a situation where they're trying to set up a long leading into earnings, so we'll see. Maybe I'll hold it through earnings. I don't know. I haven't really decided. I just see that it's possibly triggering an uptrend, so I put in a little risk. Nothing that's going to blow my account. Nothing that's going to hurt me if it goes wrong. Even if the earnings dropped out $150 a share, I would still be sitting here tomorrow. That's fine. So that one's kind of interesting. So yeah, whatever. Cool. All right, on to the next. NESR, no. So yeah, again, that's all I'm doing is just flipping through right now our biggest gainers list, seeing if anything is triggering uptrends that are worthy of purchase. LX, that one's kind of interesting, but we're definitely late to that one too. Yeah, just a little late. Not that it won't keep going. Even this one, IRWD, yeah, we're definitely late to that guy. I'm thinking about this EYPT. It's not really a great setup, but it's one of those things where I could maybe still make money out of it. Whatever. I'm gonna start buying some of this too. I'm gonna buy some EYPT. I'm gonna go for a 10 SMA long trade, which basically means as long as the price kind of holds around $3 or $13.81. So we got maybe 20 cents down still on that. But might look for a 10 SMA long here at EYPT 1380s or so. It took a little bit there. If it drops down to 1380, I'll buy a little more and then I don't know, go from there. It's not my go-to setup, but we'll see. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. NMRA, nah, nothing there. GBTG, debatable. Kind of want to try it, but I'm going to have to, but it's already a back test, so we kind of missed that. Who's calling? Oh, man, the President of the United States calling again. Doesn't he know I'm busy? I'm on a YouTube stream. Gosh. Alrighty, what do we got going on now? A little bit of beta? That one doesn't look too terrible. Actually, it kind of is. We're kind of late to that one, so I don't know. I don't know, maybe. Maybe at some point. Damn, that would have been a good one. But we are about 2 to 3 hours late on that one. Trip. RXT. Nah, we're late. I'm not going to do that one. We kind of missed that one. Oh, hey, what do you know? Wing is up $1.44. That's cool. So now up $1.35 on that position. Gotta like that. Nah, that's not gonna work. That one's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. This might work. Yep, fuck it. I don't even care. I'm buying. All right, I'm buying the stock. Should I? I don't know. That's UURAF. That's 4. That can get a little sketchy. And there's not really that much to get. I mean, 618, 10 SMA. What is that? What's the risk? What's the reward? 11% to. What's the reward? I mean, honestly, it's not. Fuck it. I'm buying. I'm buying the stock. BUURAF. I have no clue if this is going to work or not, but I'll buy some. Why not? All right, so buying some UU if they allow me. They did. Bought some UURAF. It's got potentially 11% upside, and risk is only like 2.5 to 4% down, so like whatever. So, all right, cool. So we'll put that one on the internet to help the public, because, why not? UURAF. Wait, that's not how I do things. Added along. UURAF at, let's see. We'll see if this one works or not. The spread on that's really shitty. They're being lame. That one. You know what? We're gonna hold off on that one. We'll hold off. We don't want to put the public on anything too bad, so we'll chill on that one. How is that even possible? That spread is pretty wonky, eh? I guess so. Whatever. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Well, I mean, maybe I should. Whatever. Alright, that's done. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't, I guess it just kind of is what it is. Alright, what is that? It was you. Where's my stuff at? Damn, I kind of lost. Alright, wing. Where did you? Oh, damn it. Kind of lost where I was at. We'll start from the bottom up then. LUV. Actually, that looks pretty good, but we missed it. It started breaking out earlier today. SPRY. Shoot, that one might work. We only got up to 975 though. It's a 4%. No, it's only 3% gain. I don't know. Should I? Should I not? Should I? Should I not? Should I? Should I not? Whatever happened to EYPT? Oh, that thing shit the bed, maybe. I kind of forgot. Gotta take a peek back at that. No, it's right down to where I said it would go to. Like I said, it's gonna go to about 1380. So I'll buy a little more there. If we get lucky, then it holds its 10 SMA, bounces. If not, then, well, shit. Eventually it's gonna go back to 1322. No big deal though. It is what it is. All right. Wait a second. Yeah, UA. Love. Start from bottom up. I mean, that's another one. QURE started a potential uptrend today. It's coming off that low. It's got up to 975. We just looked at that one. I don't know. So pretty much if EYPT doesn't hold 10 SMA here and bounce, which doesn't look the greatest, but like I said, it's a 10 SMA kind of sell-off, hopeful bounce sort of play. I mean, really, if EYPT starts to bounce right now, it's only going to get back up to 1383. So it's 2, that's 11. So it's 11 cents up from here back to 1383, at which point it would have to recover 1383 to kickstart a 10 SMA long, which then hopefully works, blah, 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 blah. If it does, I'm just going to sell all the way down to 1321. Not that you guys took note of that or really know what the hell I just said, but you get the point. What is this guy? TXG. That's interesting. Yeah, it's just too low of volume for me there. Maybe. All right, well, actually, I don't know what to make of this one. Yeah, pretty much looked at everything I thought was, I guess, halfway decent. We do not have any uptrend starts on any of the big caps yet. SPY did a little bounce, did a little pulley. Wonder if it's doing its 30-minute VWAP rejection. Let's just take a little gander. Another phone call. Okay, this one's the wife. Alrighty, ladies and gentle girls. Wait, that's not how that goes. It's gentleman. Gentlemen. Because men are the ones that are gentle. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so right now, S&P 500 is literally just doing just a 30-minute volume-weighted back test. Volume-weighted average. VWAP back test. Yeah, whatever. So pretty straightforward there. Can't really say there's anything too crazy going on there. Actually, let's see. We have a 30-minute. There's two 30-minute no G pizzles. Let's see. What about the 5? That would be. I need to turn that thing on. Let's do this. Any day here. Not that ain't it. Oh yeah. Alright. Hit triple no G pillow with the 5 slither. That one is not in action. There's a good chance. Yeah, so anyways, I'm just having some fun here on the SPY, looking at some, GP stuff, so there's that guy. And if we go to the 30-minute, let's see, the 30-minute get activated, 30. So that one's got a GP hit, that one's a no-go. All right, let's check this guy, and that one did not, so that one's ran up 1261, coo. Let's see. That had a GP, got it, so there's no value there, and this one does not, so we're going to look at that guy. We've got 161, 261, 361, 361 bounce, but no GP, 161, 261, cool. Yeah, I'm just looking to see if there's any sort of interest set up here on the market that would maybe make sense to screw around with, but I don't see anything that makes sense right now. Yeah, so cool. Let's go check on our wingdings. How's Wing doing? Oh my goodness, Wing is now up $2.80. Oh, what else did we put on? I kind of forgot. Let's see. EYPT. Looks like we got scammed on EYPT. EYPT. Yeah, we got scammed. So EYPT is going to basically go down to, like we said, $13.22 here. So that sucks. So I took that one off. There's no point. I mean, it could also bounce at $13.82, but I was going for the 10 SMA play, but whatever. Don't really care. It is what it is. Let's see, RKLB, what are you doing? Ooh, heck yeah, baby. RKLB, long trade still working out, but that one's getting pretty close to the target, so we might need to shave RKLB as it gets a little closer to $70.20. You know what I mean, jelly beans? What else did we put on there? We have SL, I got stopped out of SLS. It's okay. Speaking of, let me go back and look at that. Yep, stopped at SLS, but that's also another support tag. So you know what? I'm about to add back long. So I'm going to add back a little bit long on SLS here because it's a back test of potential support. So we did a little bit of a breakout earlier, and now the market sold back down too, and now we're back testing. So I've re-added long there in the event that it actually turns into a bounce. If it doesn't, it's again low risk, doesn't matter. And I might just basically remove all the profit I made on that one, go back to a break even, but whatever. Let's see, UURAF still not doing anything we want. Well, actually, it kind of is, but they're just running such a scam on the spread right now. It's not making money, but that's okay. The market is a scam, so what else do you expect? So there's that. ARAI. This thing is not doing what we need yet, but hopefully it shapes up. I think I'm going to reduce a little bit of exposure on that one just because it's not working the way I'd like. Doesn't mean it won't work, but we're going to reduce a little bit of my exposure on that one. What about our friend PGen? PGen, I mean, I don't even know when I do remember when I bought that one now. Yeah, I bought that for a continuation kind of break up, which kind of worked. I'll take a little profit on that one, and we'll hold a little bit. Cool. I definitely have given back a little bit of PGNL over the past hour or so. That's fine. Bitcoin. Yeah, there's not a whole lot. We've definitely, I took positions on quite a few things today, but in the moment, I guess I don't really see a whole lot. Do remember that, the S&P or SPY, right? SPY does not have, hasn't tested the golden pocket of that candle. SPY has not tested the golden pocket of this candle. The SPY has not, SPX SPY has not tested the golden pocket of that candle. The SPY has not tested the golden pocket of this candle. So there's a lot of what we call unfilled GPs, right? Or, areas that it's just algorithmic programming. For the most part, everything at some point always does a 50% retrace to a degree. So these are just all a bunch of algorithmic levels of candles that essentially the market could very well want to reprice itself down and into. If you look at, like I said, well, it's right over 10 minutes. I don't even know why I have that up there. Can I remove that? I should have done that a long time ago. But like this right here, I'm focused, like here's another thing. Let me just double check. Is it that? No, we already got that one. That's right. So like this one down here, this is a 30-minute candle. This 30-minute candle does not have a golden pocket test, right? Does that mean the market has to go there right now? No, but it just, again, we just know there's price action that happened within that 30-minute time frame that hasn't tested the golden pocket. So, and as far as Fibonacci goes, look at all these candles like right here. All right, it's very common. It's very common for a candle to open up, do whatever, and then the next candle hit the golden pocket. Then the next candle hit the golden pocket. This hits golden pocket. That hits GP, 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 GP. Right. It's very common. Stocks are going to hit GP. Yo, love the volatility. Welcome back, or hello, hi, how are you? The volatility is great. Obviously, right? We're going down, so volatility's here. But yeah, so dude, I can do this stuff all day. It's not like the market's always gonna, so I can bring up, let's bring up the VIX here. So volatility markets are obviously in an uptrend, right? That's a no-brainer. Well, for some it's a no-brainer. For others, they'll just never have a clue. But so let's bring this up. So volatility, right? Volatility entered an uptrend back on, what was that, Thursday of last week. So Thursday morning at like 10:30 or so or whatever, basically right into Thursday morning of last week, volatility markets started to break out. So at that point, you should have been bearish markets, obviously, not as long biased, because you're seeing volatility start to get expressed in a fearful manner into the market, start an uptrend, more likely to see market goes down, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. You get the point. Again, these systems repeat all week, all day, et cetera. So pretty much all that's happened over the past week is markets entered a downtrend, and as a result, fear comes into the market. Fear is expressed when the market breaks out into an uptrend. Uptrends on the VIX and fear break out over the 50 SMA, as shown here, etc. So that being said, the markets are in a bearish state. Volatility is increased. We will go back long the stock market when the stock market tells us to go back long, which will be when fear is removed from the market and markets go into uptrends. And we know that happens at the 30-minute 50 SMA on a regular trading hours chart. So basically, just sit back, expect more selling until the market bottoms and then enters an uptrend, in which if you watch the stream, you always know where the uptrends start. So thumbs up, cheers. Hope you guys are doing great. What else is there to do? We've accurately predicted Bitcoin. We've got everybody on the right side of the trend for the market. We've given out a handful of different equity plays that have worked. Some didn't work. We've gone over the volatility markets. You guys know those are all in uptrends. We talked about some golden pocket stuff and Fibonacci's. I'm just wondering when CNBC is going to bring us on. SPX 15-minute. It's kind of interesting. Let's go check SPY pre-market 30-minute just to make sure. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, so in the short term, SPY could be targeting right back to 680. If 680 holds, we could be looking at a transition back to the regular trading hours, which would be, and that's the 15. So 15's holding down, back test 30, go up. I see. I don't want to confuse anyone with that, so I'm not going to touch too deep on that, but yeah. Bitcoin just staying down. Again, remember we have new price targets for Bitcoin. They are to the upside, but we're about a year or so early on a lot of that. So just know that we're targeting Bitcoin back to like basically 100K, but we're about a year to maybe 2 years early on that target. But you know, it's fun to call it early rather than make a YouTube video when it's happening. You know, like I said, there's a lot of hindsight 2020 analysis on the market. There is no shortage of hindsight 2020 videos and analysis and teaching. There is very rarely any foresight analysis, teaching, and predictions in the market, and that's the objective of our channel, is to hopefully be basically your little market forecasting news organization, one-man show. So yeah, you know, that's hopefully what we try to do, and hopefully we're correct about it more often than not. But yeah, like I said, you know, foresight, prediction, market is far more fun than hindsight 2020. So that's objectively what we try to do, and do it as best as we can. So with that being said, what is up with that one? Getting scammed on ARAI. As per usual, there's always got to be a scam in the market somewhere. Where did that go? I don't know. And are they gonna pull the old? Wait, why don't I have a stop on that? I don't understand. Where is my cursor? There it is. Da 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 da. Are we gonna get Scamola? Probably, would not be surprised. I guess. Alrighty. I know I keep saying that, but like I said, I mean, we've gone through so many different things. I don't even know what there is to do. I guess I could just keep looking, see if something's entering uptrends. Something for the buy, something for the buy, something for the buy. I mean, again, we don't really expect a whole lot right now. We're going through the lunch period, so. What is this guy? Oh. Super light volume. Well, maybe not. It's only 14,000. Yeah, it's pretty light. But it popped all the way to 7 the other day. Too sketchy. Damn, and NCL would have been a play today. Definitely would have been a little bit of a player, but we missed it. Oh my gosh, my chicken wing has gone all the way up $3.22 per shizzles. That's fun. And looks like we're getting scamola on the UURF. Let's see, SLS, not really working. RKLB, still working. PGen, still working. Let's go back and double check our UURA Scammerooski. It's just the spread. That's really all it is. Should have paid closer attention, but that's all good. All right, I'm gonna get ready to rock and roll here. I got some other stuff to do. I gotta work on a new lease agreement for one of the properties. Oh gosh. So, as we said before, I'll bring it up right now real quick, just so we can get a small little update for the peoples on the real estate portfolio. Maybe I'll hide my login. That's probably a good idea. Not that it really matters. Yep, it's going to be real nice when we finally stabilize this portfolio, but we're getting there. With every week, we're getting closer. So here's the real estate portfolio, just about under $1 million there. Total value is about 1.7 mil. Down about 14%, trailing cash on cash for the last 12 months with some renovations. Yeah, we are got some more renters in another place, so revenue's starting to increase, expenses are going down. The big property in Ann Arbor is going to be re-rented out starting in May, so we're going to be vacant for the next couple months, doing some more kind of fixes and whatnot. So we'll have some negative cash flow pretty much until May. Then once May comes in, then we will start generating, was it like 8,000? I think so. I think it was $8,000 a month there total in rents for the moment. It's going to be nice to finally stabilize the Ann Arbor property. And then, yeah, once we get some equity paid down in a couple other places, then we'll probably add another one to the portfolio and so on and so forth. But, here's a snapshot of what, landlord, real estate investor kind of looks like when you do it the way I do, which is just single family homes, fix some stuff yourself, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, we've, basically just been losing money the past year. So, unless you can, arguably cover the cost of upwards of $3,000 or maybe actually average $3,752 a month in extra expenses, maybe really it sounds well, or just don't buy a shitty house in Ann Arbor. So anyways, cheers guys. Love you. Catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.